Quick math. Grab a number in your head right now. Take your age, multiply it by your annual income, then divide by 10. If you're 40 years old and making $150,000 a year, that's $600,000. If you're 45, making $200,000, that's $900,000. If you're 50, pulling in $300,000, you should be close to $1.5 million. Run your own number. Do it honestly. Now compare it to your actual net worth, what you own minus what you owe. If you came back below that threshold, you are not dealing with an income problem. You are dealing with something that has a name, has been studied extensively, and is quietly costing millions of high earners in America everything they think their salary should be building. It's called the high income poverty trap. And if the formula just made your stomach drop, you are not alone. Most high earners fail this test dramatically.
My name is Joey, and on this channel, I want to teach you how to save, invest, use, and grow your money so you can have more freedom and retire earlier without depending on the government. Subscribe to the channel and like this video. Let me give you the number that should reset how you think about income and security. According to a 2025 Goldman Sachs report, 41% of Americans earning between $300,000 and $500,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. Among people earning over $500,000, more than $500,000 annually, 40% say the same thing. 4 out of 10 people making more money in a single month than most Americans make in a year still feel like they have no real financial cushion. Here's what that looks like in practice. Picture a physician in Chicago pulling in $380,000 a year. She drives a leased BMW, her kids are in private school, she eats out most evenings, her mortgage runs $4,200 a month. From the outside, she looks like everything a high income is supposed to produce. From the inside, she cannot put together $5,000 without selling something or going into debt. This is not a hypothetical. This is the documented financial profile of millions of high earners across the country. And here's the part that trips people up. Research shows that Americans earning $100,000 a year are more likely to report living paycheck to paycheck than those earning $50,000. Higher income actually correlates with higher financial stress in certain brackets. The intuition that more money means less financial pressure is statistically wrong for a large and growing group of people.
Let's put precise numbers on this, because the formula I opened with is not a party trick. It comes from one of the most important studies ever done on actual American millionaires, the Millionaire Next Door. And it defines 2 types of people: PAW, prodigious accumulator of wealth; UAW, under-accumulator of wealth. The formula, age times income divided by 10, tells you which one you are. And here's what the research found. Most high earners are UAWs, dramatically, consistently across income brackets. Doctors, lawyers, executives earning $300,000, $400,000, $500 regularly land below the threshold because their spending climbed with their income while their savings rate barely budged. Now let's run the math that explains exactly what this costs. 2 people. Both earn $300,000 a year. Both are.
Person B saves 5%, $15,000 a year. Same index fund, same returns, same 20 years. That becomes approximately $650,000. Same income, same investment, same time period. A $3.35 million gap. That number, $3.35 million, is the actual cost of the high-income poverty trap over 2 decades. It's not the BMW payments, it's not the private school tuition, it's the compound growth that never happened on the money that was spent instead of invested. Here's another data point that surprises people. High earners carry significant credit card debt. Americans in households earning over $100,000 held an average credit card balance of $12,760 in 2025. The top 20% of earners account for 35% of total U.S. credit card debt, despite representing a smaller share of the population. This isn't because high earners are careless with money. It's because their lifestyle runs so close to their income that any disruption, the car repair, the medical bill, the home maintenance, goes straight onto a card at 21% interest. Their income is fully committed before the surprise even arrives. Total U.S. credit card debt crossed $1.27 trillion in late 2025, an all-time record, set while incomes were near all-time highs. Here's the bottom line in one sentence. A $200,000 income with a 30% savings rate builds more wealth than a $400,000 income with a 5% savings rate. The number on your pay stub matters less than the percentage you actually keep. So why do intelligent, educated, high-earning people keep falling into this? Because the trap doesn't operate through arithmetic. It operates through identity. And identity is a much harder thing to override.
The first mechanism is fixed cost inflation. When you earn $80,000, your housing options are constrained by what lenders will approve. When you earn $300,000, you qualify for mortgages that stretch your budget just as thin, just at much larger numbers. Private school tuition, country club memberships, vacation home carrying costs. These don't feel like luxuries once they're in place. They feel like obligations. Pulling back from them doesn't feel like a rational financial choice. It feels like a public signal that things aren't going well. The second mechanism is social comparison, and it's gotten more dangerous. Social media shows everyone's curated highlight reel in real time. High earners aren't just comparing themselves to their neighbors anymore. They're measuring against a version of their peers that's been filtered to show only the trips, the renovations, the new cars. Often both parties are more leveraged than they appear, but neither one knows it about the other. A 2025 Goldman Sachs report explicitly listed keeping up with social media peers as a documented driver of paycheck-to-paycheck living among six-figure earners. The comparison trap has a research paper now.
The third mechanism is hedonic adaptation. The BMW becomes normal. The first-class seat becomes the expected baseline. The expensive restaurant becomes Tuesday. Once a luxury becomes routine, the lifestyle locks in. Downgrading doesn't feel like returning to normal. It feels like losing something you earned. The treadmill speeds up every time you move to a higher setting, and you can never actually step off. You can only run faster. None of these are character flaws. They're predictable psychological responses to income increases that nearly everyone experiences without realizing it. The difference between the PAW and the UAW isn't discipline or virtue. It's understanding the mechanism before it locks in. Here's what actual wealth accumulators do differently, because the research is consistent and the playbook is short. 94% of millionaires live in middle-class or modest neighborhoods. Most have never spent more than $400 on a single piece of clothing. Around 60% live in homes worth less than $500,000. Warren Buffett lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Not because he couldn't upgrade, but because he understood that the house is not the point. Freedom is the point. Move 1. Run the formula and face the gap. Age times income divided by 10. Compare it to your actual net worth. Whatever gap exists between those two numbers is the exact dollar amount the trap has cost you to this point. Make that concrete. Write it down. An honest look at that number tends to be more motivating than any general advice about saving more. Move 2. Automate 15% before you touch anything else. The national savings rate sits at 3.6%. Actual millionaires consistently save 15% or more of their income, and they do it first, not last. Not invest what survives to the end of the month, because nothing survives to the end of the month. The savings transfer goes out on payday, before the paycheck ever feels available.
Move 3. Audit your fixed costs specifically. Monthly commitments are where the trap actually lives. Subscriptions, memberships, recurring services. The convenience economy is extraordinarily good at extracting small amounts that compound into large annual totals without ever triggering a conscious decision. Food delivery alone now averages $179 a month. That's over $2,100 a year on one category. Add streaming, car payments, gym memberships, premium apps, and you often find thousands of dollars leaving silently every month. Each charge individually seems minor. Collectively, they represent the lifestyle that requires the full income to sustain. Move 4. Fix the finish line. The Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey found that Americans believe you need $2.3 million to be considered wealthy. But when you ask people who actually have $2.3 million, they've moved the target to something higher. The goalpost keeps shifting. The people who escape the trap define a specific net worth target, a specific savings rate, a specific monthly spending number, and they stop.
Here's what I want you to leave with. The high-income poverty trap does not care how much you make. It only cares how much you keep. And right now in America, 4 out of 10 people earning over $500,000 are keeping almost none of it. Run the formula. Face the number. Automate the 15%.